going live like right now.
Nice.
We're live. Good
Cool.
morning, Jim.
How's it going?
Welcome to episode 86 of the Daily Get Shit Done Show.
Damn.
Good
86.
morning.
Nice job.
Dude, I've been inspired by you we've known each other for so long, but like in the last several years, you really doubled down on your or appear to from the outside. I mean, tell me if I'm imagining things here, but like it looks like you've really doubled down on your consistent broadcasting and consistent content creation via live stream, via video around Program Yourself Thin. Jim is a hypnotist and a specialist in weight loss. Program Yourself Thin has been your thing for years. And for those of you that don't know, like Jim and I go way back. I think, Jim, you knocked on the door to my office in like 2002 or something.
Yeah. Way back, the beginning.
Before I was doing anything online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're both little baby hypnotists.
Yeah. I was a hypnotist. You were a hypnotist. You were in Brattleboro. You saw my sandwich board sign, I think, right? And came up. And fortunately, I wasn't in the middle of a session or whatever. It all worked out.
Right.
But I've been so impressed with your, like, how many followers do you have on TikTok now, dude? This is bananas.
Yeah, no, it's going good. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like 170,000, which is by far and away the most followers on any platform. But you know, Instagram's getting up there. So yeah, it's really, well, it was initially TikTok, which is interesting. TikTok really spoke to me because they're 5 to 20, they're a little longer now, but back in the day it was 5 to 30-second clips, which was perfect because they're easy to make, and so that was originally what kind of led to it. And then I started doing lives on that, and the lives that was the easiest thing, because that was the first time where the marketing, because I always thought of the social media was always marketing for me, right? So that was the first time that the marketing kind of met what I actually did. You know what I mean? And so, I was coaching, and I've been coaching and doing hypnosis for literally decades at that point. But that was the first time I could actually just get on there and talk to people. And it was kind of that bridge between what I did for work and what I did for marketing. And so it felt very easy. I suppose you find that too. I mean, this is just an easy, you go sit in front of a video camera and try and make a video versus just get on here and have a conversation with someone. Oh yeah. It's easy for you.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. The I'll tell you that for years I taught people to live stream and to live stream regularly, but then I had this incongruency issue. And the incongruency issue is I could do it for like a few weeks or a few months, but then I would fall off the wagon, and then I wasn't eating my own dog food. I wasn't taking my own advice. And I knew it. And it was really, it was defeating, because creating regular video content is a great way to go.
Yeah. Live
streaming is a great way to create it, whether or not the platform you're live streaming on, really caters to live streams. These days, it seems like TikTok does.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like Facebook does. It doesn't seem like YouTube does.
Nope.
But it seems like TikTok really gives the live stream some juice.
Yeah, no, that's true. When I live stream, and I live stream every day, and every weekday, but so I will simultaneously, TikTok's kind of my main one, so I'll natively stream to them through my phone, and then that's what this little guy here is for. So a little microphone go to the phone.
Oh,
and
you have a mic on your mic.
Yeah. So it's like it directs wirelessly to the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that sounds better. But and then simultaneously though, through my computer, I will stream to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And YouTube and TikTok has the majority of the people listening, and then maybe like more than half, and then the other rest are kind of split between them. But yeah, Facebook, I've been doing live streaming for 2.5 years, and so even still, this is going to sound depressing for some people probably, because you just think when you keep at something, it's going to just kick off. So 2.5 years is a pretty long time every single weekday.
Yeah, you're going 5 days a week. 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah. Okay.
For an hour and a half, 2 hours every single weekday for 2.5 years.
Right.
And Facebook, nothing happens.
Right.
YouTube, virtually nothing happens. Instagram, because my posts just kind of, some of them hit. And Instagram, it's like, I've been posting there for a while, and it's just like 1 week you'll gain 10,000 followers, and then the rest of the year you'll gain 100.
Right.
Yeah. And so, but I do get a consistent number of people. What I do find though, is I get a consistent number of people on those platforms that like know me and seek me out. The thing about TikTok that really makes it work is it's always pushing your content out to new people. And so it keeps it kind of fresh, because I'll get new people coming in. There's people that watch me regularly, but that's what generates a lot of the questions and kind of the energy of it, because I am just by myself. So it's the TikTok audience that actually creates more actual kind of engagement stuff. It's probably 70% of the comments and questions are coming through that, and then maybe 30% through all the other platforms combined. So
okay, so we've had a conversation a few times over the years about your process as it's been unfolding, and so can I just ask you more questions about it? Okay, so here's my understanding. Just course correct me. You're spending an hour to an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week, live streaming. You're pushing out to multiple platforms, but TikTok's giving you the most juice.
Oh yeah, by a lot.
Okay.
Like it's 80% of the juice.
Okay.
I wouldn't even keep going if I didn't have that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a really important distinction, right? Yep. So I don't really do TikTok at all.
Yeah, you're missing out. It's the best algorithm out of all of them.
So you get on, and you're a hypnosis for weight loss specialist.
Yeah.
Right. And a few times you've been mostly doing weight loss hypnosis since we met. Even in your private practice, you focused on that. But there have been a few times when you're like, oh, I'm going to go off in the more of a personal development direction. I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to go in that direction. But you seem to have really settled in on weight loss as the focus.
Yeah.
And so every day you're talking about some aspect of weight loss, of mindset, of health, of fitness, of exercise, of cooking, of, families and partnership, and and all the stress and all the different struggles that we deal with when we're struggling with our weight, right? And where that crosses over with your work with the mind in order to help people overcome the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do these live streams. Do you plan them in advance? Do you use ChatGPT? Do you freestyle it every time? What's your style?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that the key part is I've been doing this, like you said, for 30 years personally, 20 years professionally.
You know your stuff.
I mean, and that's, I will say, there is, as a hypnotist, and I think you could put this out to other, like being a coach, it's the same type of thing. Being a hypnotist, you can be in a business, consultant. You can think to yourself, well, I could be a generalist. I can help anyone. And you probably can. But to really be good at something, I'll speak as a hypnotist. I mean, you gotta have your stories, know what I mean? The metaphors you're using, just, all your experiences, all the rest of it. It's gotta be the same thing. Every time I try and do a generalist stuff, I got to start thinking about extra stuff. And I just don't have the same pattern there,
Right.
So when I go into this, I literally, it's like, okay, I got to go on, and I try to get on for noon. I get on noon to 12:30, and I'll be like, okay, what do I want to talk about today? And I'll just
so you've been doing it long enough that you don't have the need to plan.
Yeah,
I generally don't plan too much either.
We're like that.
But a lot of people need to plan, and one of the beautiful parts is like ChatGPT and other AI tools out there are phenomenal planning tools, right?
Yeah,
so if you need that plan and you need that structure in order to have peace of mind, go for it. But it's not a necessary component.
Yeah. Right? And I think it would be boring for most of my people. But again, you build up an audience of people that like what you do. Right.
Right.
For me, I will literally, because then I structure it so, and I haven't been doing this lately as much, but what I will do is I will do like an initial, like 3 to 5 minute, let's say, monologue, but again, it's a monologue. Literally, I would just and I do ChatGPT. I'll be like, okay, give me 15. Because I get kind of sarcastic and whatever and things. So I'll give me 15 clickbait titles of a podcast for weight loss. And so give me the typical bullshit. And I will just riff on that. But again, it's just, that's what I do. We've talked about this a long time ago, that we've got personalities where we went into a profession where someone sits there with their eyes closed quietly and we talk to them.
And we talk. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's master monologuer.
Right. Exactly.
Master monologuer.
It's important to kind of recognize what your skills are and who you are, you know what I mean? And build around that. And I think that's the secret, because for years I wanted to do YouTube videos, and it's like, that takes a level of planning commitment that I don't really like. I like just winging it.
No, I have the same problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Same problem.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, dude, one guy that I would encourage you to pay attention to is a friend of mine that I've developed over the years. His name is Johnny Scoville. Okay. And Johnny Scoville is a self-created hot pepper guru. And he live streams every day. B, he eats insanely hot peppers. And he's very smart. He's very articulate. He's kind of a philosopher, kind of a guy. And but he has an incredible YouTube following, and most of his stuff is live streamed, and he's been doing it for like 8 years.
Wow.
And so he's figured out something with but I think when he's YouTube live streaming, he's just on YouTube and just looking at the community on YouTube. He's not multi-streaming. And I think that makes somehow a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because when you do use, like, we're using StreamYard and we're multi-streaming out to all these platforms, but most of my engagement comes from Facebook, which happens to be the social media platform that I'm most active on.
Yeah.
You know, and have the most like real human interaction friends with. So you jump on and you live stream for an hour and a half. You interact with your people and you talk to your people if they jump on TikTok or wherever and say something. What do you use for multi-streaming? Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah.
Oh, Restream.
Oh, you use Restream. Okay, cool. And then you always drive people to program yourself thin.
Yeah, the entire time. Although I've got a little lazy with it lately, but that's a different story. But it's, I always drive them to a free hypnosis session. And then I say, get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you. You read the emails. So I always give free shit away. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm always pitching.
Yep.
And that's part of that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, I will say one of the best parts about live streaming, and this has been the most beneficial part, in my opinion, is that when you're doing business stuff, you're always thinking like a marketer.
Right.
And there's always this barrier. And I think when you do start live streaming every day about what you do, you become much more authentic.
Right.
I would say I certainly did. And so my marketing speak fell away very quickly. And I just began to speak like a normal person, like I do. And I swear a lot. And some people don't like it, but some people do. And it really is, you very quickly start to realize, and you hear it all the time, but you really start to realize like you attract the people that get it. And it was a real click in my mind, because for the first time I really stopped trying to appeal to everyone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, so this is such an important factor, because if you're building an audience, if you're building a following, you're probably building a business, right? Chances are good, or at least you intend to. And so when you do draw a line in the sand and you decide who you're really going to focus on attracting, not only does that come through in your language and you become skilled in delivering different types of presentations and teaching people things in a way that click, that it's going to click because you've taught it 1,000 times to 1,000 groups of people and you've seen it click, so you know how to deliver it. But then there's also this interesting thing that happens over time that I think you only know about it if you've been in the game, is that like attracts like. And so your people will attract more people like them over a long extended period of time. And that builds up like an internal momentum in your business that you can't create any other way, So like deciding who you're going to help and how you're going to help them, and becoming a specialist in really helping them at a high level over an extended period of time, it just has so many positive benefits.
Oh, yeah. It's like, because it's like in real time, because like you always say like, okay, well, I'll make a webinar, I'm going to deliver it every day, or I'm going to deliver it every week, but it's like, that takes a ton of work in the background. Even the podcast, I was saying this to someone the other day, I'm like, the podcast is really, I'm not even doing a good job with it.
Right.
I call it a podcast, by the way, because I just take the live and I put it up as a podcast. So it's one or the other. They're the same thing. But I'm like, I was literally telling it to them, I'm like, I'm not I'm not proud of this. I just do it because it's easy, but I never plan anything out. I'm not being strategic. I'm not taking a fucking hour and a half of content every day and getting 5 clips out of it and using them. I'm not even using the first 5 minutes half the time, which is me talking about one specific thing. And every time I post it, that's another, it's almost always multiple thousands of views. And it'd take me 2 minutes. It would take me 5 seconds to outsource it. And I just don't.
Right.
I have to get shit done. It's the same thing. But I think that I let go of the idea of perfection. I don't give a shit because I just want to do something. And, luckily it's enough to keep things,
well, so how does the rest of your day go though? So I get that, starting at 12 or 12:30, you live stream, but how do you run your business from an entrepreneurial perspective? Like behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
How do things run? What time do you get up? What's your routine like? What are the other aspects of your business that you need to do on a daily or weekly basis in order to keep things afloat and hopefully growing? Right. What is, because you're pretty much a solopreneur, right? You're a one-man show.
Yep.
Do you even have a virtual assistant?
No.
Okay. So that is rare. Okay. It's rare that you have someone that is really doing the one person business thing and able to maintain it for an extended period of time. So that's really cool. So I want to know more of the inner workings of how you pull that off.
Now, I'll preface this by saying that I've been doing it for a little while. That's the key factor.
Yeah, well, fine. Practice makes perfect.
But it's also literally, it's been 20 years of I've done every single model of business that you can do. I've offered $5 programs, $20 programs, $100 programs, up to $25,000 coaching packages. So, it's important, I could get on here and say what I do, but, there is 20 years of material and assets and experience there as well. So I'm relying on a lot of that, to be honest, because I guess in one way, my career kind of bebop between two things where I've had Program Yourself in as basically a digital home study program and coaching, high-end coaching. And so it's always been between those two. And I've always, I like doing this one. And then I like doing the coaching. I get burned out on that.
All weight loss still.
Yeah, all weight loss though. Yeah. No, I've done other stuff. I've got like probably 10 other programs. I got like I can't remember the name of them anymore. But I got a confidence program, I got a sleep program. I've been a solopreneur program, so I've made lots of other programs too, but it's always been weight loss been the main consistent thread of it. But yeah, so at this point, I mean, my daily routine looks like I get up, I'm usually, bring my kid to work or bring to school. I'll start working around 8 o'clock, which for me is I usually start reading. I read every morning for about 8 hours because that becomes a lot of the content that I'm putting in. I mean, I'm obsessed with this stuff.
Wait, you read every morning for how long?
Usually for an hour.
Oh, I thought you said for 8 hours.
Oh, no.
Wait a second. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll read. Okay. Yeah. And I think, that becomes part of the content to some degree because I will talk about the books and I teach on them. So it becomes part of the program and product as well. But so I read for an hour usually. Hour and a half. And then I will, I don't know, what do? I kind of work on stuff for, 2-3 hours, which whatever I'm kind of working on. And I know that sounds vague because it's not the most focused work in the world. So I don't know. And then, but then my day kind of starts.
No, but seriously, so you read for an hour.
Yeah.
And what kind of stuff are you reading right now?
It's always nonfiction. I'm obsessed with nonfiction. It's usually 50% is nutrition, food, weight, that sort of thing. And then 50% is almost always like psychology, coaching, neuroscience. I just bebop all over the place. I just read The Beauty Myth. Well, that's covering my weight loss. It's in the middle. But so I'm always reading stuff that's relevant to this. So when I read in a specific, this maybe, I don't know. I think this is important. So I read in a very specific way. I take handwritten notes while I read. Okay. And I take those notes at the end and I put those in my digital brain. And so I now have, I read about a book a week or so, somewhere in there, but I now have like a digital brain where I have all these notes from all these books, so then I can go and I can, in one of my programs, I'll teach those notes.
What do you mean you have a digital brain? Is that a service?
No, it's just like Evernote or Notion. You know what I mean? But it's like all these notes are up there so that, I've got all these book notes. So if I'm working on something, I can go type up a word. Now with the AI, it's even better, but it'll go find the notes relevant to that topic. If I'm putting together,
you take handwritten notes and then take a picture and upload it.
I type them in. I'll handwrite them and then I type them in.
You handwrite them and then you type them in. Okay.
At the end. So that's kind of my morning. And then, yeah, then like I might record hypnosis sessions. I might just do different stuff, but I feel like my day officially starts kind of at noon. I'll do like the podcast for an hour and a half. I'll go eat lunch, fuck around. Usually then I start coaching calls. I do usually do coaching calls. 3:00 is where it kind of starts. So I'll do like a group coaching call, and I have different groups, but each day, Monday through Thursday, I'm doing a group coaching call pretty much at 3 or a training. I do private sessions mixed within there, although I do less and less of those, but maybe five, 6 private sessions a week, maybe sprinkled in there. And then, the majority of where I move my business to, though, is more the group coaching.
Right.
And so, the way I have things structured now is Program Yourself Thin is a home study program itself. And so you can do just that. And that's $500. Or you can coach with me. And the coaching, initially it's 8 weeks of coaching with me, live group coaching call. And then if whoever gets through that, there's a couple options to, continue, and you can continue at, different levels.
How much is your 8-week program?
The 8-week program was $2,000. Well, it's interesting because as a marketer, a lot of this is driven through a webinar special offer.
Right.
Okay. So if you went to Program Yourself Thin right now, you could get the program for $500 and it'd be $2,000 to work with me for 8 weeks, with the program. And, so that's that price. And then if you want to, I make special offers, if someone wants to continue with me and make a commitment to work with me for a year,
right,
they get a special offer and all that stuff. And then, I do private coaching. That's $25,000 for 12 weeks. And then there's a small group I have, like a private group that's only 4 people, an inner circle, and my main group. So it's basically that. And that's pretty much the business model. And it kind of runs itself because, again, it's a funnel that's always running. So people are coming in through the hypnosis session, watching the webinar, signing up for the program, and then signing up for coaching or not.
Yeah. So they come in for the free hypnosis session, and is the free hypnosis session the same as the webinar?
No, it's a different thing. And, that's actually something I'm changing right now, which is going to be killer. It's really cool what I'm doing now, because the thing about a hypnosis session, and this is to any lead magnet, is that it's cool and people want it. And then most people won't ever use it because they have to sit down for 10 minutes and actually listen to it. And people like to acquire things, not use them. Right. So, that's not the best thing, but what happens is I've done a lot of advertising in the past too, but to be honest, I'm getting a lot of warm traffic, and it converts, it's 2 different worlds. And so I generate enough traffic, this way here. And I have so many offers on the back end, that really maximize customer value long-term, that, this has just worked. But, the next phase is I have a better lead magnet going out, that's going to call the right people.
So you obviously have a fairly deep back end that you've built over many years, right? And you've tried different things. I mean, of the different products and the different price points and so on that you're selling right now, like, what's your main moneymaker? What's the main thing that drives the business?
I would say it's 2 things. It's the front end sale of the program.
You know what I mean? Like $500 digital program.
Yeah. And so that's like, I don't know. Is that half? It's probably about half or so, a little more. And then the back end's all the coaching, and there's lots of just different coaching options. And so they all kind of, just stack up together. But from, a little bit of private coaching to the group coaching, to, I call it a group coach. It's not really coaching. It's a group class, and there's that. So there are a couple different options there, but it's probably about somewhere in the 50-50 ballpark.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So for people who are, I'm impressed with that you're able to do this as a one-man show. It seems like you have a lot of routine, a lot of consistency in your life. Like, you have a lot of flexibility, but even just talking about your reading method, I don't do anything even remotely like that. I just start my day and I get going, and then, like, in my free time, I watch videos and do training or whatever. And when I'm on 75 hard, I read every day. But, like, I definitely don't have the discipline of creating any type of a digital brain. Did you see Rich Schefren's new offer?
No, what's he doing?
Dude. So I should get him on here. He is doing this thing by creating an AI digital brain.
Oh, cool.
right? That's and basically creating a like super smart, highly augmented version of you, right? That knows everything that you know and can like think the way that you think with expanded capabilities, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's
hold on.
related.
Speaking of that, speaking of related, that's another thing that I do. I am like a robot too, by the way. I want to make that crystal clear. I am extremely,
Like
I don't consider,
robot.
yeah, I really am. But that's, to be honest, that's my whole program yourself thin. That's my whole philosophy of life. I'm a hypnotist. I believe in the subconscious mind. So I believe in the easiest path for me in life I love routine. It doesn't feel like discipline. I literally, I get up every morning at 3 to 4 and meditate and go back to bed. I mean, I just do it automatically. So my whole life is automated things. And some people might think that's boring, but for me, it sets my mind.
I'm envious. I recognize the value of routine, but for me, it's like,
yeah,
I have to buy getshitdone.com and start a daily video stream about it just in order to get some more consistency in my life. You know,
yeah, that's fair.
I mean? Like,
oh no, I get it. But I do a lot of stuff to make these things happen too.
Yeah.
But back to the AI thing.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I offer as part of the program is I digitized myself. So I use a thing. I literally I have an AI version of me. And so it's literally got, I forget how many, it's got like 10 million of my words. I put all of my trainings into it. I put all of my podcasts into it.
What platform did you use for that?
Delphi.
Oh, I've been hearing about Delphi.
It's crazy. So people like the video one's weird. So I didn't do the video one because it's a little strange looking, but the audio one, it sounds 100% like me. It's literally, and so my clients that have access to that, they will literally just talk to that version of me whenever they want to. So it's like, that's just a little bonus thing that I offer that will become a bigger and bigger part for reasons. But it's like working with me literally. And so it says the same stuff I say, and it's insane. And I use that all the time because it literally has everything. It knows more than I do in some ways. So if I want to create content, that's a real easy way I do it. You know what I mean? So I can ask it, hey, give me 5 steps to, thrive through Thanksgiving.
Right.
So that's been really helpful for me because I hate creating content, like written content. It's like hitting the brakes for me. And so I use AI a lot, and I use it in this way too, because I have this literal digital brain, AI brain. I have that as well as the digital brain thing. But yeah, it's really cool. And that's going to be a much bigger part of what I'm doing moving forward. Because that's been the big thing too. Like, because I have done a lot of, again, I go back and forth, but where I was at for a number of years, probably 10 to 5 years ago, I was real big into just coaching. And so I would get people on the phone, sign them into the big program, work with them in a very, kind of, intimate way, one-on-one-ish. And I got burnt out on that. So then I went back to this, but then I missed the coaching. So it's been figuring out like, how can I do group coaching? And I got that locked in, but now it's like, hey, why not just sell this program? And so that will be a big part of that. So that when they get the digital program, they will also have this access to my AI,
right?
Which is about as close as you can get to working with me, but way less, obviously.
Right.
But
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you sell your 8-week group coaching program via webinar.
Yep.
Is it an automated webinar, or is it a webinar that you do once a month, or what's the deal?
No, it's an automated webinar. And again, this is just another thing that like I'm just lazy as shit. Like, I know it sounds like I really am lazy, which is why I have to build things around routine. Because if I have to just do something, like I'm literally doing this now. Like I'm redoing some stuff. It's like, I'm going to do a webinar. I was like, okay, I've done this so many times in my life where it's like, okay, in 3 months, I might have it done.
Right.
Even though, I'll do it all in the last 2 days.
Right.
It'll be 3 months of thinking about it. So even the webinar that's still selling things, this is embarrassing. I did it 2.5 years ago. I literally made it before I did all of this podcasting. So it's weird because it probably doesn't even sound like I talk now.
Right.
I speak so differently. So anyways, though, it's all, it's fine. It's still working. It converts. But the thing that's coming down the pike here is just, it's way bigger. It's going to be, it's going to be way better. So yeah, it's funny too. Like, and think about that for a webinar, right? Because first of all, I've been doing presentations, like, because I've been doing trainings for groups and keynote style, PowerPoint style. I have literally probably 5,000 keynote pages of trainings I've done. I live stream every single day. And yet, where's the webinar? Do you know what I mean? So it's funny. There's mental blocks sometimes that we
No,
all
I
put on
know.
ourselves,
I
right?
have them too around different
Of course.
things.
Yeah.
And sometimes they become issues, and then sometimes you knock them out. And
Yeah.
why did I wait so long on that?
But they're illogical, and that's kind of my main theory of life, is that we're illogical creatures.
Right.
It makes no fucking sense in the world that me, who does a live stream every single day, talks for hours, just filling up space, who's done thousands of webinar presentation. I don't call them that so I can do them.
Yeah, but
The second I put the webinar frame on.
here's what I'll say about webinars that I love, right? What I don't love about webinars that I did love about teleseminars was I found it much easier to go off script on a teleseminar, but still follow the general outline. Whereas a webinar, if you do them the traditional way, there is one key. I mean, at this point, there's one key point on every slide, you know, and these days we have way more slides. Like you might have a 500 slide webinar just to keep people's attention. But still, it's like very, very scripted.
Yeah.
And when I do like read a VSL, I like someone else to write it for me, and I always record it on the first take, and that's the one we use. Right? Sure. Because I don't like the practice. But here's a hack that I found over the years that works great with hypnosis. So this is great for you, but it's great for anybody that does anything relatable on, you know, online in your business, which is just do a free hypnosis session as the content of the webinar. So you got your intro where you're going to answer some common questions, welcome everybody in, tell people what they're going to expect. Then the content portion of your webinar, where you'd normally be teaching, you don't teach. You do a 20-minute hypnosis session, progressive relaxation, direct and indirect suggestions, toss in a little metaphor, Ericksonian style story, you know, bring them through a deepener to get them super relaxed. And then use, you know, all the different NLP modalities that you can cram in there. And so you kind of like resonate with most people pretty well. And the whole point of the session is to give them the experience of being hypnotized so that they know they can be hypnotized and know they like it. Right. And then on the other, and what you do is at the beginning, you say, look, we're going to do a big session here on hypnosis for weight loss. I think we did this probably back with weight loss for marketers back in the day.
Weight loss for marketers.
But you do a hypnosis session as the content, and you tell them ahead of time, look, we're doing a free session, and this is the first session as an introduction to my bigger program. And so if you enjoyed this process, I'll give you all the details on how you can join the full program at the end. Right? And so, and if you tell them that extremely forthrightly, like in the first 3 minutes of the webinar, then there's no people stay on to the end. Right. And you offer Q&A at the end or whatever. So anyway, all I'm saying is you can use the free hypnosis session webinar group session as a structure for doing a very high converting webinar without the, I don't know, the routine of the script.
No, I get what you mean too. You know, it's funny. I did a meditation workshop for a group of mine a week or two ago, and they all loved it. And one of them said, I think that why we like this so much more is it was an experience. Right. And I do think that I think people are tired of, you know, lectures and being talked to. And I think they are yearning for experiences. And I see that my TikToks, the biggest TikToks by a mile, it's always the ones where it's basically a hypnosis session. It's a 2-minute one where I'll have imagine waking up tomorrow morning at your goal weight in some form or another. And they just want to fantasize and imagine it. And those are always the videos. And I always do those too, because you never know which one's going to hit, but people just want to.
So you're doing 2-minute quick visualizations.
Yeah. You should be doing that. You got to get on TikTok. You're compressed. You probably know this about the algorithms, but for anyone else, the problem is TikTok's soul. The rest of the algorithms are all network based, right? So it's like, it depends on who your network is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's a little different. It's not so much a social media thing, but so those guys, they're not going to push your content even to your network, really, but they're not going to push your content outside of your network. It's a network centered algorithm, but TikTok's a interest centered algorithm. And so TikTok, you get on there, you don't have to have any network, because if you make a hypnosis for getting shit done for entrepreneurs, it pushes that content out to people that like that content. So it's not about your network. That's good and bad. I mean, ultimately, the network has its strengths, but when you're starting off and you want to, get some traction and get out there, TikTok's the only one that does it. And I think
Jim, you explained this to me at a coffee shop a while ago when you were starting to do TikTok. And as tell me if I have this right. So you do 3 to 5 clips per day on TikTok.
Yeah.
So, but those clips are spliced from the live stream.
No.
Oh, no.
I'll be completely honest here too. Like let's see, I've been on TikTok for about 2.5 years. I have made, I don't know, I would say 1,000 videos, maybe, let's just say. And at this point, between me and you, I just kind of I've been recycling them. Okay. I use Loomly. By the way, that matters. I used Repurpose.io. Everything took a nosedive. I use Loomly and everything stays pretty much the same as if I was posting them specifically there.
Wait. What do you mean everything took a nosedive?
Well, some services, it seems like, so for example, StreamYard and Restream, I don't know what effect that's having. You know what I mean? I honor TikTok with TikTok gets the old phone. You know what I mean? I'm in TikTok's app, and the rest of them, I send it through the Restream. But, I don't know. I can't imagine that doesn't have some impact, because you're not native into the thing. And, let's be honest, the algorithms are so sophisticated. They know all this shit. You know what I mean? And I don't know. You're not going to get the same engagement. It's just not native to the thing. So I can't imagine it doesn't help. And I think the same thing happens to how you're posting. Okay. So anyways, so yeah. So with TikToks though, yeah, like the videos, what I did for a long time, and I will get back to this again. I'm working on some other shit, but yeah, every week I would usually I do like maybe 3 times a week. I'd break it up and I would make like 8 videos each day.
Yeah.
And each video, I mean, literally a video could be 5 seconds. It could be 30 seconds. It's the same shit over and over. That's the other thing about TikTok. It's just going into the trash bin of everything. But along the way, a lot of people see it sometimes,
Right. Well, so I think what you said is that the short clips get you new followers. Yeah. But the long live streams get people to go to your website.
Yeah. Yeah. And they both do, really. Cause I mean, they both do, but you get a more engaged, warmer client or prospect from the live streams, cause I would be, if I was doing get shit done, I would be, oh, look at that.
Yeah. I think he's talking to me, but this is Paul. So this just goes to show like what happens when you go the long term, right?
Yeah.
2012 or 2013, I did a free hypnosis session with you and then bought your CD. More than 10 years later, the word SHABAMBO jumps into my coconut for some reason. And here I am today watching you live. Paul, rock and roll. Dude, if you want to work together, again, if you want to do a one-on-one session, you can go to workwithtellman.com. And you can sneak in under the wire, even though the deadline's passed, and you can book yourself a private hypnosis set. This is something I've been doing lately, dude. For the last several months, I've run a few different promotions where I've been doing name your own price, pay what it's worth to you, private hypnosis sessions.
Mm-hmm. How's that going?
And it's been very interesting. Very interesting. Got, with zero minimum, right? $0 minimum. And it just got... So one of the really interesting things that's happened, of course, is that 95% show up rate.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No more like sales calls.
Yeah.
Where 20% of the people, 30% of the people actually show up. Like everybody that signs up for a hypnosis session shows up unless there's like a serious issue. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's really interesting because what I've been finding is working with one-on-one clients when they come in and decide what they're going to pay. First of all, there are upsells, and some of the people buy everything in the upsell path, right? which dramatically increases customer value. It just goes through the roof. But then what also happens is you develop a really deep personal connection with everybody early on in the buying relationship.
Sure.
And then they go on to buy everything from you long term.
Sure.
So anyway, there are different ways of working with people. Obviously, sure. I was trying to kind of turn the traditional funnel on its head.
Yeah, sure.
It's working pretty good. So okay, so you are doing these clips, but you're recycling a lot of old stuff at this point.
Yeah.
You're doing the live every day. TikTok's getting you most of your juice. You have 2 or 3 hours scheduled in the morning to do various types of business tasks that need to get done.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, starting at 3, you either do a group session or you do some or you work with one-on-one clients. And how late in the day do you work?
5.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And so do you have any tips for people who are trying to get their inner robot to come out a little bit more effectively on how to get more consistent and how to build like a systematic business that grows over time? Like what are your
well, I mean, I'll talk about like get shit done just because I know you and I know this situation, but like this is a perfect example of like, and I think this is the first steps, right? The first step is to kind of do something consistently. Yeah. I think that's the first step, right? And so you found, because you can't be consistent with shit that you can't be consistent with.
Right.
And what that means being like, we can force ourselves to do shit for a little while. Right. But it's like, sometimes consistency appears to you. And so you figured out something you like to be consistent with. Right. And so it's like, I like to build everything around that, but then I would want to get more value out of what I was doing. And I think for you, you could literally magnify what you're doing here by a factor of 10 starting tomorrow if you start taking advantage of TikTok. And it's always like this. There's always certain like
levers.
There's levers, and some give us 1% improvement and some give us 10 times the improvement. And TikTok would be the thing where you would do the exact same thing you're doing basically, but you would just add one more streaming to it, and you would find instantly it would change the whole game because it would feel different. You would start getting more people asking questions, you get more people watching. It just starts to change the energy. Then if you start making TikToks, which
dude, that's what I wanted to ask you. And I know it's probably a ChatGPT search away, so I'm kind of maybe unnecessarily having a human conversation right now. But one of the things I love about the Get Shit Done show that I've had a hard time doing with myself in the past is I have actually had a hard time, as I mentioned earlier, consistently live streaming solo and being fully accountable to myself every day in this way. Now, sometimes I have to live stream solo for the Get Shit Done show, but most of the time I do my best to have a co-host or an interviewee, right? Like somebody like you to have a conversation with. It gets me to start on time. It gives me something interesting to say, so I'm not just like trying to make something up, whatever. But TikTok, how would one go about live streaming on TikTok like how would I live stream you and me together now?
Okay. Well, first, I think the first thing you got to do is you got to get like maybe 1,000 people to follow you, or I don't know if there's like a limit.
I've got live streaming active on TikTok.
Perfect. Yeah. I honor TikTok because I personally use the phone. So I could restream into TikTok. You don't even just run everything from one camera. Yeah. They just started that. But I'm not going to do that, me personally, because you know what I mean? Like, again, I just honor the platform. I just think there's something there. But
I think it gives you more juice when you're using their interface.
Yeah, I think so. And so, but the other side of that though is, so let's just talk about like making TikToks, right? Because that's the thing, right? Because that's the hard part. Oh, how am I going to make a TikTok? And we tend to look at what people do and say, oh my God, I don't even know where to start with that.
Right.
I didn't do that. I started with what I do. And so literally, I remember the very first TikTok I did, I literally made like a 1-minute hypnosis session. Like, what's a 1-minute hypnosis? Oh, I want you to relax your stomach, relax your chest, relax your shoulders. Now take a deep breath in. It's, you know what I mean? Like literally just an experience.
Short 1 minute hypnosis. That's what it is.
Like, oh, 3,000 views. Oh,
right.
Okay. That was easy. And so it's like the videos I make, I just record it and then I will cut the dead spots out.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up there. But like get shit done. You couldn't make enough videos where it's like, okay, I want you to imagine it's 5 o'clock and you got all your work done today. And that's all I do. Literally, like the videos I make, there's 100 of them on there. Or imagine you wake up tomorrow morning, you got your goal weight. You're lying in bed. You can feel your body. You can feel the amazingness, that being at your goal weight. You hop out of bed. You put your favorite clothes on. You walk, right? And people just love it.
Right.
And so get shit done. There's 10 million versions of that.
It's like it's like the beautiful part about it, Jim, is that it's like a dopamine hit for the day that's gonna make, if the viewer chooses to actually just chill out for a second and watch that video, close their eyes or not, what they're imagining as they're listening to the guidance is probably going to be the most beautiful experience that they have all day long, where they're going to feel better about themselves, where they're going to be imagining a better world, where they're going to be imagining a paradise that they could escape to in the future and that they're working toward, so that they don't need to think about the giant pile of bullshit that they're actually going to have to deal with for the day. And then like, it's brilliant. It's great.
It's exactly like and this is what I have to stop myself from doing. But I always say like weight and money are the same thing because they're both means to an end.
Right.
It's not about having the money. It's not about being at the weight. Right. Because how most people achieve weight loss and how most people achieve a lot of money is miserable. Right. It's nice having money. It's nice being the weight, but they're miserable. And so subconsciously, most people associate stress and pain to making money and stress and pain to losing weight, ironically. Right. Oh, and so it's a counterintuitive concept. And so everyone out there, every fucking entrepreneur out there, every single solopreneur out there is thinking about making money 24 hours a day, but subconsciously they associate pain to making money. But specifically because you can't make money. So this is literally, this is why I want to go into this field all the time. I'm not going to do it because it's the exact same conversation. But I always say with weight that you can't lose weight, right? Because weight is an effect. So there's no way to lose weight. There's no way to make money. You can't make money unless you have a counterfeiting machine. Right. So it's actually semantically ill-formed and it confuses your subconscious mind. What you can do is you can eat differently, you can work more or create more value. And then through time and some magical process, the money shows up, the weight goes down. Right. But what confuses us is we keep focusing on the effect, which we have no control over.
The outcome or the side effect, the strategic byproduct of having a successful business is more money. Right.
Exactly. But what everyone gets obsessed with is where they're at with the outcome. And that causes them to stay in a state of panic and paralysis. Right. Because I don't have enough money. I don't have money. Oh, shit. How am I going to have money? How am I going to have money? And they don't put the energy into the thing that creates the money.
Can I put you on the spot right now?
Yeah.
Do you want to do a money mind? Would you be willing to do a money mindset hypnosis session right now around this disconnect from money and pain idea?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it with money and I'll do it in the get shit done thing.
Yeah, do it. I'll mute myself out while you're doing it. I'll unmute when you're done.
Yeah. So let me preface it a little bit just by talking about, because I want to explain it, because I'm a big fan. I don't think hypnosis is enough. I think it's a nice experience, but I think it leaves people wanting because they say, well, that felt nice, but where do I go with this? And so I think the thing to understand about getting shit done is that even though let me just take a step. Can I have 5 minutes to explain this before I get into it? Okay. So you have a conscious and a subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is logical, rational, is the part of you that knows you want to get stuff done, wants to make more money, knows what you should do, and tries to get you to do it. This is where your willpower is at. And then there's your subconscious mind. This is the part that runs all your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Your prefrontal cortex is your conscious mind. It's about 10% of your brain. So most of your brain is your subconscious mind that's running on Pavlovian association. And at this point, also when you take into account the negativity bias, we all have a negativity bias. We remember negative things more than positive things. Right. Survival-wise, it was more important to know where the lion was than where the flower was. So negative things stick in our head harder. And so at this point, if you're an entrepreneur, you got a bunch of stuff you want to get done. And that's a main source of stress for you, that you don't have the money you want. You don't have the stuff you're getting done. You're pissed at yourself for procrastinating. You're upset with yourself. And so what that's created is a subconscious mind that associates pain to doing all the things you want to get done consciously. And this is the state that you find yourself in now, constantly wondering, what the fuck's wrong with me? Why don't I do it? How come I'm not doing the right things? How can I get myself to this? That's right. And you're constantly focusing on what? The problem. And so you never allow yourself to truly kind of stay in the solution-oriented place. And the solution-oriented place starts with feeling relaxed and calm, because the feeling of pain is a physiological one where you're tense, you're stressed. And a lot of entrepreneurs are in this constant state. A lot of people with weight in this constant state because they're constantly asked the question, what the fuck's wrong with me?
Right.
How come I can't get this done? Instead of, how could I get this done easily and comfortably? How could I enjoy the process? How could I like getting shit done? How could I get addicted to it? How could I get obsessed with it? Because if I got shit done regularly every day and the way I wanted to, life would just kind of work for me. And that was really what I want. It's really not even so much the money. The money would be nice, but it'd be nice each and every day if I could wake up knowing what I was going to do, did it, and then got all the benefits of it. That's really what I want. So it's not even just this outcome that's somewhere in the future. It's how about I make today better? That's what I would really like. And that's where the hypnosis really starts, is just taking a moment to intentionally say, okay, let me put myself into this peak state. And the crazy part is it's the fucking easiest thing in the world to do. It's hard to make a lot of money. It takes time, takes effort. It's confusing. You're not sure what to do. It's fucking easy to feel really good right now. Literally, all you need to do is relax your stomach, relax your chest, your shoulders, your face, your jaw, your eyes if you want to. Right? You relax those eyes. Oh, man. There's hundreds of eye muscles in there. And as soon as they relax, it sends a message and wave of peace over you. It just feels nice. You realize, oh shit, I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I can feel it in a second. And as you connect to your breathing and you allow it to stay relaxed and calm with this relaxed, calm body, you start to realize that you can feel good anytime you choose to. It's literally always right there within you. As soon as you disconnect from those troubling thoughts and just connect to the moment, your relaxation, your peace of mind, your calm, you realize that you feel better. And then it may start to dawn on you that you're thinking differently, that it's easier for you to focus and connect to solutions. And the interesting thing is you don't have to connect to the solution of what you're going to do. What you can do instead easily is connect to the solution of how it feels to get shit done naturally and automatically. Because there's things in your life that you've gotten done naturally and automatically. Each and every day, there's things you get done naturally and automatically. Getting shit done, you get your teeth brushed every day. You take a shower when you take a shower. You just get it done. You put your shoes on, you get your clothes on. You're getting shit done each and every day. A lot of it's happening on pure autopilot in the background. And so when you start to think about getting things done that way, where it's just easy, natural, automatic, it's just something you do. It's who you are. All of a sudden you start to redefine what getting shit done means. From something that you have to psych yourself up and force yourself to do and fight against and struggle with. And that begins to evaporate and fade with each and every breath you take. Each time you relax yourself, you redefine getting shit done to brushing your teeth, taking a shower, making yourself some breakfast. And you realize you're getting shit done each and every day, all day long. And what you're looking to do is just add a couple more things to that. Strategic things, things that make a big difference in your quality of life. Things that make money appear in your life naturally, easily, automatically, just as easily as you nourish your body by eating throughout the day. You start to find that money starts to appear in your life in ways that you never even realized it could. And you realize the reason this is happening is because you're starting to get shit done easily, naturally, and automatically in a way that feels really good, so that you want to get these things done each and every day, the most important things. And there's always more things you want to get done. That's just the nature of being a human. But when you settle down and step into the present moment, you relax your body, your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, you take a deep breath in, and you slowly let it out. You reconnect to how you want to get shit done, how you want to make money, how you want to be successful. And you realize, as you feel this feeling now, that you can be successful right now. You don't have to wait. Now, you can feel more successful in the future. You can get more things done. You get more money waiting for you in the future. But you can start to feel everything you want to feel in the future right now. And you can operate out of that place. You can have the money you want right now, or at least feel like it. And the more you feel that way, the more likely you are to have it appear in your life. And when you feel it appearing in your life in this way, it feels different because you're not relying on the money to feel good. You're relying on feeling good to have the money. And you can feel good right now. And the more you feel good throughout the day, the more shit you naturally get done. And the more shit you naturally get done, the more money comes into your life. And so the more you stay in this place, the more exciting it becomes as you move through each and every day. So there you go. There's an idea of it. That's kind of like, it's literally the same shit I do with weight.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude. Thank you.
Cool,
that was really great. I often am doing the hypnosis, so it's nice when somebody competent comes in and can bust a session out on the fly like that. That's really great.
Well, really with the hypnosis too, I think most hypnotists, we end up focusing too much on the words and the mind piece of it, and not enough on the body piece of it. Because we can hear good things, but if our body's tense, it doesn't absorb them. Go into the relaxation, we start to generate a lot of these thoughts on our own, but then it's just easier for those thoughts to, kind of soak down into our deeper subconscious mind as well.
That's right. That's right, dude. That was great. That was very, very cool. Guys, if you enjoyed that session that Jim just did with us nearly as much as I did, and you have any desire to get to your ideal weight, programyourselfthin.com is the place to go to use hypnosis to lose weight and feel great.
Nice.
So cool. Well, Jim, any other thoughts, questions, ideas, any other discussion points before we wrap?
I think we're good, man. I hope this helped anyone out, and just keep going. You gotta, I think the most important thing is just resiliency in everything, because everything moves slower than you want it to or expect it to. It's called the planning fallacy. So it's easy to expect, just the simple, quick path. But it rarely works out that way. And it comes out typically, if you can stay resilient and, get through the difficult time. That's why I rely so hard on routine and habit. It's that there's always kicks in the gut coming down the pike. And so if you just rely on your moods, good luck, so I prefer to rely on just routine and habit. And that's the hardest thing as a solopreneur, as you said, because you're accountable only to yourself, so the more kind of commitments you can make to yourself and others that you do consistently, I think that's a good way to kind of move forward, and get more shit done.
Rock and roll, dude. Good advice. Good advice. Great episode. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to all of our wonderful viewers and commenters. Let's see. Paul says SHABAMBO is the first time we've seen Paul on the show. So it's cool that he's a SHABAMBO guy.
Nice.
So awesome. I guess the SHABAMBO sign off worked. So that's good to check in. Awesome, Jim. Well, I hope you have a great day, and I will kick my TikToking into high gear. I'll get a phone tripod set up and start streaming.
There you
go. But I guess I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about it, and I realized that I could just set up my phone, point it at me, and do the live stream even with a guest, but they wouldn't be on the video. I would just be on the video, but sometimes the guest would be talking in the background, and it's really not that bad. So like that's an easy way to get it rolling. But I like what you said about just doing the short videos and getting the live stream rolling. But I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Like, again, it's you just never know. That's the cool thing about TikTok. It's just, you just throw shit at the wall and see what works. But it's again, there's no scripts, there's nothing. It's just record and just blah, 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 and okay, let me cut it and put it up there and see what happens. So, and you start to figure it out, you know what I mean? Because some things take off and some don't. But I will, again, here's a cheat code for you. It's literally what I do. Like, it's the perfect day, the perfect entrepreneur day. You know what I mean? Because no entrepreneur is thinking about getting everything that they want done comfortably and enjoyably.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're just giving that experience, and they can't get it enough because they literally, like you said, it's 24 hours a day. They're living in the stress and the pain.
Right.
And never do they allow themselves to step into the reality they actually want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you can literally, like, every video is the same for me. I mean, don't get me, I'm putting a lot of content out there, but 30% of every video is literally the same thing. You wake up tomorrow at your goal weight.
Right.
So, tomorrow you wake up, is the action-oriented person you want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, you get your taxes done, you do your emails.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So anyways, yeah. But it does help.
I love it, man. That's awesome.
Cool, man.
Cool, guys. Well, this has been the Get Shit Done Show, episode 86. If you're an entrepreneur who wants to overcome procrastination and increase your productivity, go to getshitdone.com. We'll train you to get shit done.
Nice.
That's the name of the game. All right, guys. You'll even get the Get Shit Done session for free when you opt in. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Jim. This has been great. Look forward to seeing you sometime in person.
Yeah.
And over and out. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow morning.
Nice.